there, and one arm needs to be really marketing cruising and yachting, and cruising class smaller boats, and the other arm really should be focusing on cruise ships and cargo and things like that.
Also, I know if you look on the monitor, here you have these old boats and wrecks, and I think the authorities also granted the SLAC to remove all of these.
That's right.
In the lagoon, right?
Yeah, I believe that is one of the mandates of SLAC and what they are responsible for, because they are responsible for the management of the Simpson Bay Lagoon and Simpson Bay. And some of those are there since 1995 and some later, but it would be a great thing if we can get those cleaned up. And the thing is, a lot of them could actually be made into nice artificial reefs and become, you know, an asset rather than an eyesore like that.
Yeah, because this one shocked me, and we did a special, yeah, and that special was sponsored by SLAC in full, and it's quite amazing when I saw this.
Yeah, it is a difficult task. So, you know, I think SLAC has a lot to deal with, or whoever is regulating, yeah, that. There's different laws that are in place, and you know, you see a boat like that, you can't just move it out because it may have oil and things like that. So from an environmental point of view, it's a difficult task to get rid of all those, but it is one that we need to collectively concentrate on and find a solution for.
Now, when you look at the industry, you're also working with the schools. You want to tell us about that?
Yeah, I think that's one of the most important things that, you know, so hopefully everything with government is being taken care of, and we can come back in a couple months and say what this new structure is. But in the meantime, there's a lot of opportunities for the youth of St. Maarten and for anyone from St. Maarten that wants to get involved in it. And so a couple of years ago, there's things as like, there's sailing programs that kids can take part in, and that there's scholarships that have been given so that they can learn to sail through the St. Maarten Yacht Club. But then last year, the St. Maarten Marine Trades Association, working with the different partners in the marine trades, launched what's called Build Your Future. So we involved 5 or 6 different schools on St. Maarten and bought these boats that are Norwegian design, and it's a kit that you learn to build these boats, and then so there's a picture of one of them. So that's when they're almost done. So that's in Milton Peters, where a group of kids with a mentor built this boat from the design that is given to them. So they learn things like teamwork, carpentry, how to fiberglass, epoxy, all the trades that would help them if they want to get a job in the marine industry one day. But even if they don't, it's just learning some life skills like working as a team. And then when they're done that, they get to learn to actually row it and sail it and all that. And then there was so much enthusiasm from the kids that did that program that they actually started asking, well, can we sail in the Heineken Regatta? Right. So then they started working with the St. Maarten Sailing School through a gentleman named Garth Stein, who is somebody you should really talk to one day. He won a Crystal Pineapple Award for his initiatives to teach the youth about sailing. And so he taught a group of kids and put 2 boats together with different groups to sail in the Heineken Regatta last year, and it was fantastic. And a couple of these people, the kids that started in these programs, are working in the marine industry today. There's one young man named Mackinson is working with us at IGY right now, and it's been fantastic. It's an industry that offers a lot of opportunity, higher paying jobs, growth potential, and many different avenues too. You know, we have people that work in the marine industry that are accountants. We have people that work in the marine industry that are carpenters, air condition repairmen, mechanics, and people that don't really have any skills can still work in the marinas as like a dock attendant that are helping catch lines and deliver packages and even taking out garbage and landscaping. There is a lot of opportunity. And now with the school, NEPA, the National Institute for Professional Advancement, there's a maritime courses being offered there. So the goal is, we're not going to be able to train everybody and get great jobs in a 1, 2, 3 year period, but we're going to be able to start. And in a 5 to 10 year period, we're going to really be able to offer a lot of opportunity for kids on St. Maarten to work in an industry here that has the ability to offer them jobs that even are off St. Maarten. You know, if people want to work on the yachts, I mean, there's kids, you know, a good friend of mine now, Stefan James, was working with us at Simpson Bay Marina on the docks, and then from there got to know people on the yachts, and it's happened more than once. Dr. Buss's son, is doing that as well, and there's other people that have gotten jobs then working on yachts and have gotten to see all the world going with this yacht through the Mediterranean and different parts, and then come back here with a whole different perspective and experience level that then can get even better jobs here because of those new experiences, and that's a wonderful thing.
You know, the other day I went over to a company just around the marina called BFK. What's
FKG.
FKG.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, so I was so impressed.
Yes.
Because I didn't realize that in St. Martin we had a company like that, and the people were so helpful, so knowledgeable.
Yeah.
And they explained everything to me, specifications. I was really, really impressed.
Yeah. You know, it's extremely important to understand that one of the assets that St. Martin has that separates it from the rest of the islands in the Caribbean is the people. And, you know, as a St. Martiner, and St. Martiners tend to say, well, yeah, but they're not from here. And, okay, maybe they weren't born here, but the St. Martiner, or the people that have immigrated here and made St. Martin their home brought a lot of technical skills, and a lot of them actually sailed here. So they have become such professionals in the industry, and they have that capacity to train people that are from here now, and they want to pass on that knowledge, so we have to work together to do that. FKG, for example, that's a rigging company, and they do machinists, they build parts for sale, like specialty parts they will manufacture there. Like, I believe you were there for construction of your home. So if there's a stainless steel piece that you need, for instance, that you can't find anywhere, they can manufacture it. And during the summer months when it's quiet here, there are people that are so good at what they do at FKG that they're flown around the world to work on different yachts. So really, St. Martin has a bunch of people here that have skill sets that are as high as you'd find in, say, Fort Lauderdale or the Mediterranean. And so what we really need to also promote in the marine industry and government is the boat yard. So people like Bobby Velasquez, he's investing heavily into his boat yard in Cole Bay now and looking to grow his boat lift from what's now 150 tons up to 500 or 600 tons, which means they could take out bigger and bigger yachts and do work on them. So when you get boats out, that's a lot of opportunity for different jobs, whether it's unskilled jobs that's just helping to clean the bottom to very skilled jobs like carpentry or things to do interior work. And there's a lot of opportunity for us to grow that part of the market. And what's beautiful about that is the more business we can drive towards the shipyards, they tend to do that work during the off-season, which means boats will stay here longer. And if we, you know, the marine industry now is only profitable and survives off of 5 to 6 months of business. To the extent we can grow that to 7 months or 8 months, it means that the GDP that we were talking about, the gross domestic product of St. Martin, that we are 15% of, or 350 million, that can grow to 500 million or so. And imagine then the tax revenues, and you know, we shouldn't have a government that's running on a deficit every year. If done correctly, and if we really do what's necessary to help grow this industry as well as all the other industries, it could be a huge windfall for St. Martin. And keep in mind, you know, my brother is in real estate, and I can tell you that I really feel that people feel more comfortable investing in St. Martin when you drive down the street and you look over and you see $1 billion of yachts just sitting there. It just gives you a sense of comfort, like, well, if they're here, something's got to be right. And I think that helps with, you know, even cruise ship passengers seeing that, you know, stay over guests, everybody. It's something really impressive to see if you do a lagoon tour and see the amount of yachts that are on St. Martin.
You know, seeing that the business is seasonal, do you have problems in terms of convincing government on, say, 6 months contracts, because it's difficult for industry like you, I assume?
It is very difficult, and the unfortunate part of it is that, you know, we really do lose money for 6 months of the year, and hopefully you make enough money during the 6 months to make it worthwhile, and that's been the case lately, but it's touch and go, right? So if you're pushed into a situation where you can only hire all the people you need really to efficiently run the marina for 6 months, you have to keep them on all year, you may not hire as many people during the peak periods. So you'll get by with less people and offer less service. And you know, what we're trying to do in the marinas anyway, at least at IGY, but I've talked to a lot of the other marinas and they're doing it as well, is you try to use the seasonal jobs for younger people that are in school and are trying to get into the industry.
Okay, let me take a call for you. Oral Gibbes live on call. Hello?
Yes, good evening.
Good evening, how are you doing?
Good. Good evening to you again. I believe it's Mr. Deher.
Yes.
Okay, I had some people in between, so I wasn't too sure. In any case, I'm calling to say that to commend his establishment. I believe it's the marine trades or the right. Am I correct?
Yes.
Because I think that from following developments as I usually do, that his establishment is the one who exposes students from the vocational schools more than any other. And I think that is so important because we all are not academics, you know what I mean, in terms of intelligence, but a lot of us, we are very, very good when it comes to vocations. And I think they're doing a great job, and I hope that they can continue to expand to more students who are, as I understand, proving themselves that they can learn a skill and also love what they're doing. So I call for that. And one other thing, I try to understand the whole relationship between the SLAC and the Maarten Trade Association. I don't know if you can have time to explain a bit more because it was sometime they requested Parliament to amend some contract or something to take away, let me say, some power from the SLAC. I'm not too clear on that. So if there's a time, to please explain it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, caller.
Sure. Well, first of all, thank you for your recognition about us trying to work with the students and the vocational school. It is one of our main goals in the Marine Trades Association is to get more children involved in the industry. And I could tell you the number one way to do that, most people, if you go anywhere in the world and you go to a marina or on a boat and say, why are you working here? It's not because they say, well, this is the quickest way I can earn money. Like those people are probably in Wall Street or maybe, you know, whatever. Most of the people that work in the marine industry started sailing or fishing and just fell in love with it. And they said, you know, if I can get paid to do this, how could life be better than that? And so you tend to see people working at the marinas really enjoy their job. And, you know, that's a great thing in life if you can find a job you go to every day that you enjoy. And there is a lot of opportunity, they keep saying, that, and that's why it's so important, and I try to spend as much time as I can in the National Institute for Professional Advancement, the NEPA, to see how we can work better between the private industries and the school to get the right type of education. Because if without the communication, schools could be training for jobs that don't actually exist. So it requires a very strong partnership between private industry and the schools to understand what jobs are out there and what skill sets are required. So I'm glad there is that recognition, and we will keep trying to do better and better to improve that. So to talk about the relationship with SLAC. So SLAC is, again, the Simpson Bay Lagoon Authority, and they were given a concession to operate the Simpson Bay Lagoon and the Simpson Bay between the 2 points. So any yacht that or boat at all that's out in Simpson Bay on anchor, even if they don't come into the lagoon, falls under the concession and the authority of the Simpson Bay Lagoon Authority. So what they regulate is, number one, they regulate the price that every boat pays to go through the bridge. And then they regulate the price that a boat pays when they are at anchor, or even if they're at the marina, they pay this, what is called a mooring fee. And that's what we're talking to them about, is saying, well, you can't just keep raising the fee because you want more revenue for your authority or your group of companies, because what may be good for your group of companies is not best for the industry, and then not best for the country of St. Maarten. So it's, for instance, if you were running GEBE, for instance, and you said, I want to make more money, I'm going to charge, instead of 33 cents a kilowatt hour, I'm going to charge 66 cents. Yeah, you're going to make more money, but what does that do to the economy? What does that do to people now don't have money to go out and spend and pay for the, you know. So what is best for one government entity, we need to look above that and say what is best for country St. Maarten, and not necessarily just for that entity.
All right, taking another call for your Oral Gibbes Live, young caller. Hello?
Good evening, Mr. Gibbes.
Good evening,
I
ma'am.
want to commend the gentleman very much, explaining the marine industry, that he has always our blood too, the beating of our own boats, whether it was Simpson Bay, Pittsburgh, and all those other places. We're making our own boats and to go out and visit our families and friends. So relaxation not only is a good industry, really is a good industry. Up to now, we have people that make boats and to celebrate boats. We make boats. So boat is something that is very unique. It's very relaxing to go out on the sea. And I think what Jimmy is saying is true. Our youth need begin to act as a how do you say, it's like, for instance, we neglect too much of the marine industry. I have a great nephew, he loves it. He started the marine industry, and he gone to first class ship for it because he knows what it is. It means he loves sail. So if you like to sail, doesn't matter what it is. You can make money anywhere with it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't understand all of that. It's a little garbled on my side. But, you know, if you look at Anguilla, for instance, almost everybody in Anguilla seems to be a sailor or working in the marine industry and all that. You go to Antigua, same thing. But for some reason, St. Maarten wasn't like that. Most people, if you go to, say, even Bobby's Marina, or one of the marinas that caters to the cruise industry and does like day charters, most of the people on the dive boats or the sailboats they're not from St. Maarten. And then in the marine industry, it was that way too. And that's starting to change. But there's so many opportunities, like but it starts even earlier than that. All the kids on St. Maarten need to learn to swim. If you're not comfortable around water and you can't swim, you're never going to want to go sailing and fishing and diving and all that. But so, there's opportunities to be a dive instructor, to go scuba diving every day and take people, out to see all these beautiful reefs that we have and things like that, and to sailing and fishing. So what most people consider a hobby or a pastime could be your career.
You see, maybe people see you and they say, okay, we see this white guy, he's not from St. Maarten, but you're a local guy, you're a St. Maartener. It makes a difference too, because I can see since you're involved, you're also getting the schools involved. Before, the industry probably didn't do sufficient to get our youngsters involved. I have to commend you now for doing that.
Well, thank you. There's some truth to that statement. I mean, you got to remember that the marine industry on St. Maarten started kind of from like a grassroots movement, if you will, like in the lagoon and stuff. Things just started happening without much help from anybody, and they just kept growing and growing. And now, there was issues of people just coming in and not being legitimate businesses and set up. But now it's professionalized to such a manner that there is some very active businesses on St. Maarten, and a lot of locals. Do you know that out of all the marinas on St. Maarten, they're all run by locals, huh? So there's not many industries on St. Maarten that you can go to that the head person at that facility is a born St. Maartener. And so there is a lot of opportunity.
That's good news. Didn't know that one.
Yeah. Yes.
That's what we have to go to a break, Mr. Deher. When we come back, we'll continue speaking. Mr. Deher is director, and he's also responsible for planning and what else for the...
Yeah, I'm the Director of Marine Operations and Planning for Island Global Yachting. And the reason that was my title is before 2008, when the economy was doing much better, I was actually doing new business development. So my job for IGY used to be to go around the Caribbean and the U.S. and Central America to look for new locations to build marinas. So it's only recently that I've actually been managing marinas since 2000, or marinas for IGY, because I still oversee Doc Maarten as well in Phillipsburg. But since in 2008, there became a situation where there was no more new business to develop. So it's very hard to develop marinas during the financial crisis. So then I started focusing more on St. Maarten and developing or growing the businesses here. And then I got really interested in how the marine trades worked with government, and what government was doing that was helping the industry and what they were doing that was hurting the industry, and trying to communicate that to as many people as possible. Because through that discussion, we can then find ways. I mean, there's nothing that we're trying to do that is to the detriment of the island. It's so when we go to speak to people within any, and I got to tell you, every meeting I go to, more and more, it's recognized how valuable this industry is, and people are asking, how can we help? And the different civil servants that head up the different departments within government recognize it and are being as helpful as possible. So I'm usually the voice that's pointing out the bad parts, because that's my job as the president of the Marine Trades Association. But I do also need to comment, like I did about the police and the different groups that are recognizing the value of the industry and trying to help us as best they can.
When I went into the lagoon this year on the special tour that was sponsored by SLAC, and I was on the boat with Nature Foundation, they did the tour and everything with me. I was so impressed, and at the same time, I felt kind of sad because I saw the lagoon, and it's beautiful in some areas, and in some areas it's murky and dirty, but it's getting better than what I saw 10 years ago.
Yeah. You know, the lagoon is one of our biggest natural resources, and we are growing and every day, and we keep filling in more and more of it. And I'm not here to say that anything that we've done is wrong, because everybody wants to grow, but we do need to make sure that it is maintained, and that we give it the opportunity to be environmentally sound and all that. And that's going to take not only things from a maritime industry, but if you look at the lagoon, basically everything that's in Coal Bay Hill, when it rains, all the pollution pours right into the lagoon. So as an island, we need to focus on environmental cleaning up of everything, not just the beaches and the oceans and all that, but we need to find a way of getting a septic system hooked up around the entire country, or the island, the Dutch side of the island, you know, and things like that are very important. We have to focus on the landfill. That has to happen soon. It's been far too long that it's been discussed, so I'm very hopeful that that'll be resolved soon.
Well, I wasn't going to say, but I'll tell you now, I have the minister responsible for that, Minister Lake, and he's going to be my guest on the next episode of Speaking of Everything.
Oh, good.
Which is a few days from now. So.
Well, I'm optimistic that Minister Lake can get that done. I mean, I've been very impressed by what he's done in the short time that he's been in government, and I hope that he has a long career.
Yeah, he mentioned a priority on that particular.
Perfect. That's great to know.
Well, Mr. Deher, you know, it was good having you here. I have about a minute remaining on the program, so anything you'd like to add that I didn't ask you about?
Well, I would like to just wish everybody a happy holidays and a safe holidays. You know, New Year's, people tend to get a little crazy, but so be safe. And really the most important thing is to focus on getting your children involved in this industry. Even if it's just for a pastime, to do something fun, it doesn't have to turn into their career, but the skills that they'll learn and the confidence that they'll build in themselves by boating and being out on the water and swimming and taking part in marine activities will be something they'll appreciate the rest of their lives.
Well, again, I want to thank you for being here. All the best for the holidays to you and your family, and congratulations again on your 4-month-old son.
4-month-old son, yes,
So
thank you.
You're going to be busy for a long time.
That's right.
Thanks again, much success.
Thank you for having me.
And that's it for now. I want to wish you all the best for the holidays, the families, from my family, from our sponsors, and everyone here at the World Star Studio. Have a good holiday and all the best for 2014. Good night, bye.